is the Dull Man's Podcast, the podcast for dull men
and women
who get excited about dull things.
Welcome to the Dull Man's Podcast. This is episode 32. My name is Dave Harries and we are recording in my brand new recording studio, also known as my kitchen.
Elstree.
Yeah, and it's a very nice kitchen and it's also a very nice studio. Well, you be the judge of that, whether you think it sounds okay. With me in the kitchen, stroke studio, is Demitris Deech, top 800 comedian. Hello, Deech.
Yeah, good day. Hello.
How are you? You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm excited
Good.
to be back here in your kitchen.
In my kitchen studio. And also, Faye Hatcher.
Sous
Hi.
chef.
How are you, Faye?
Yeah.
Faye Hatcher is a celebrated celebrant, an artist,
Yes.
and a BBC broadcaster, and all
Not
sorts
anymore.
of things, media trainer. There's really very little she can't do. In fact, I'm going to get her to mow the lawn when we finish this podcast, because I'm told she's an excellent gardener. How are you, Faye?
I'm really well, thank you very much.
Good,
yeah,
good.
I'm high on sugar. I've had 2 donuts this morning.
I
Come
know.
on!
I know that you should know, listeners, that Deech brings donuts to these recordings. And Faye and I, who of course never eat such things normally,
Naughty.
then stuff ourselves with these very sugary, sweet treats. And so we're very high when we come to record these podcasts.
That's what I put in the donuts.
I'm not sure that's a good thing or not.
Yeah.
What are you talking about today, Deech?
Oh, I'm going to have.
You sound like you'd forgotten for a second.
Well, no, I was. You caught me unawares. Traffic cones. I'm going to talk about traffic.
Oh, that sounds
cones.
very dull. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about with traffic cones.
Yeah, it's there is not a student house in the United Kingdom which hasn't been decorated
Well,
by
that's
at least one traffic cone.
And talking to students, I'd like to talk about alternative uses for traffic cones when we get to that section.
Hello.
And Faye, what are you talking about today?
I'm talking about the very dull subject of owner's manuals.
Oh, owner's manuals. So
Yeah.
the sort of
For
thing that
vehicles.
Vehicles, yeah, vehicles.
Or do you remember the days when we used to have VHS video recorders and you'd get an owner's manual with that?
Yeah.
And you'd read it for hours trying to work out how to set a timer.
Yeah,
So you could record play for today.
yeah.
and it would never work.
It was way more complicated than it needed to be.
I always ended up recording the wrong channel. I'd set I get the
That
time
was your
right.
excuse.
yeah, exactly. I am going to be talking about toolboxes today. There's a dull man subject for you.
Okay.
Because I love a toolbox. So I thought I'd find out a bit about them. So I did. And don't forget, we'll also be voting again, controversially, for our fact of the week. Deech seems to win it nearly every week, and he certainly won the last one. Although I did vote for him, so I can't really complain about that.
But there was a good fact, though.
It was a good fact.
fact.
It was a good fact. And we will vote for another fact of the week at the end of this episode and see if anybody can knock Deech off his throne, his perch. So that's all coming up in this week's episode of the Dull Man's Podcast. Okay, it's feedback time. We've got a very short feedback section for you because I've been I've been distracted and I haven't been collecting feedback in the way I should, but I have got a nice bit of feedback. But have you guys got anything? Anybody made any comments to you? Like, I'm never going to listen to that again or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, I have. So one of the listeners got in touch with me, and we were talking about parking meters and parking fines.
Yes.
And you were talking about how much leeway you had with a parking
the grace
fine.
period,
Whether you have like
yeah.
10 minutes or 15 minutes. Where he parks in a car park where you didn't have to pay after 6 o'clock. And he got there at 5:59.
What do? You don't bother.
He didn't bother.
No.
And he got a ticket.
That's outrageous.
That is brutal.
So if he delayed his entry into the car park by 1 minute, he'd have been fine.
Correct. Yes.
But
yeah.
Because you'd think, a minute, who's going to care about a minute?
But because it's all ANPR, automatic number plate recognition, so it showed that he came in at exactly 17:59.
Yeah. And
there's nothing you can do.
No, and the computer will say, oh, well, that's before 6 o'clock,
Yep.
and generate a letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's probably no human being involved in it at all. Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good
So,
that
yeah.
people are listening to our to our podcast.
Yeah, sad news though. It's sad news.
Even if they get a fine as a result. Anyway, this little bit of feedback I've got. Do you remember? I think it was 2 episodes ago. We had a little bit of an argument, Deech, about what was the best way to eat honey. Do you remember that? And I was saying that I love set honey.
Down. Oh, right.
Yes, quite. I love set honey. I love it, sort of where you have to kind of dig the knife in and get it out and stick it on your toast or whatever.
Yeah.
And you were saying you love runny
honey, yeah.
And for you, it had to be runny honey.
Yeah.
Anyway, as a result
set
of that,
honey can piss off.
we have a listener in the south of France. In Toulon, I believe.
Oh.
And her name is Valerie, and she heard that episode.
Yeah.
And as a result, she sent me a lovely jar of set honey, which I've got in my hand now, called Mille de Fleurs d'été.
Oh,
which
show
I
it
think
to the
means
camera.
flowers. Oh, yeah, show it to the camera. That's a good idea. Which means, I think that's honey of the summer flower or something like that, or summer flower honey, presumably produced in the south of France. So she sent that to me. I've been eating that on my toast. It's absolutely gorgeous. So that is the sort of feedback we like.
Yeah.
Gratuitous gifts.
Yes.
But she doesn't send me the runny honey. Excluded, which she could have done.
Maybe she looked for it and she couldn't find it.
Well, yeah, maybe.
So Valerie in France, thank you very much for that. It's hugely appreciated. It is delicious, I can tell you. And I'm not sharing it with Deech.
Well, there is a runny honey, which is made from the farm shop, which is just down the road from where I live, and does like pick your own fruits and all of that. And what really annoys me is I have to pay for that honey, but their bees from their beehive eat the bloody flowers and have the pollen from my bloody garden. I should be getting it for free.
Or certainly a discount.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm chasing the bees back, don't I, you bastard? Put that back.
What you need to do is have a chat with the bees and say, listen, don't go and take your honey to the hives there. Go find a hive elsewhere. Yeah.
What about you, Faye? What's your favourite type of honey?
Do you know what? I don't eat honey on toast. I just have it in a drink. So it doesn't really matter.
No, the runny honey is probably better.
It doesn't really matter. But I think I'm with Dave. It's usually set because I think I've got no proof at all. But I've got a feeling that the set honey is better for you than the runny honey.
Well, let's just say that,
I take it more seriously.
The Dolmans podcast.
Take it more seriously.
I think the medicinal value of the set honey is better than the runny honey.
Podcast. Set honey is better for you than runny honey.
I like the fact that she takes it more seriously.
I think there's been a bit of scandal as well about some of the runny honeys in supermarkets where it's not it's not 100% honey.
Yes,
and they put other things in it.
And
I think that would be harder to do with the set honey.
Yes.
I think the set honey is a more natural product.
So my theory is based on fact.
It could be based on fact, absolutely. Yeah. We should be a first for this podcast.
No.
Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Rosie, if you're listening, here's some fact checking for you on honey.
So every decent bloke should have a decent toolbox equipped with everything they would possibly need for DIY around their home. So this leads me very nicely to you, Dave. You're a proper bloke, aren't you?
Well, thank you, Fab. I'm going to pull you up there because I think that's a bit sexist.
Is it really?
Bloke should have a toolbox. I think women who should take this stuff seriously too. And I know plenty of women who have toolboxes.
Well, I've got tools. I just haven't got a box to put them in. So I'm starting my own collection. Yeah, so
keep them in a drawer?
I've got a Phillips screwdriver now, my own, and I've just last week bought my own hammer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I could have given. I've got loads.
Good for self-defence. When you get annoyed with your husband, which you seem to do a lot, he needs to watch out.
Yeah. That is wildly sexist.
Okay, listen, let me talk about toolboxes because I know you're dying to hear my facts and figures about toolboxes. So I was going to say, when do you think the toolbox was invented? Because we often do that on this podcast, but I could not find anything about that in my research because I suppose toolboxes have been around for as long as there have been tools because I guess people would Stone Age bloke with his flint axe or whatever. Oh, well, I keep flint axe. And his wife would say, get a bloody
Eastern
box.
European, is he?
Get a bloody box from B&Q, you idiot. And he was Eastern European. Right. Did you know that? Can you tell? Anyway, the toolbox or the tool chest or the workbox, also known as, is a box to organise, carry and protect the owner's tools. Some of the earliest sort of toolboxes that you kind of see around are wooden, and they often don't have a lid. They're sort of there's a handle in the middle.
We used to have those in CDT at school.
The school toolbox.
Old
And
school.
there's a space either side of the handle where you put the tools in.
Nice.
And of course you can carry it around. Not very good if it's pissing with rain, but very handy for just taking the tools out when you need them. But obviously toolboxes have got a lot more sophisticated over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Even
They've gone digital.
Exactly. Even in the DIY realm, if you go into your DIY store, there's all sorts of toolboxes. But the ones I really like and that really appeal to the dull man in me are the sort of things you see in a mechanic's workshop, in a garage.
Yeah, where they flail out.
And they're on wheels.
Yeah.
They're on, they're huge. They're chests, really. They're on wheels.
Those ones.
Yeah, they're massive, and you open the doors at the front, and they have lots of drawers.
What do you call that? Okay.
Yeah, those are toolboxes,
Oh,
definitely.
right.
Yeah, and they're just very big toolboxes, and of course they've got every conceivable spanner and screwdriver and things that you possibly need for doing whatever it is you do. And I would love to have one of those. I've got absolutely nowhere to put it, so it would be completely impractical. And I probably don't have enough tools to fill it up either. But I do love the idea of it. The other place where you see very, very sophisticated tool storage solutions is in aircraft maintenance. Because in aircraft maintenance, it's all regulated. So it's not just, Joe turns up with his toolbox and does a bit of work on the jet engine. No. It's all regulated there. Every tool has a place where it has to go back, so you can make sure you haven't left a screwdriver in the engine.
Oh, wow. Yes,
or a spanner,
of course.
because obviously that could be fatal for the next
It's
people that use the plane.
literally a spanner in the works.
Well, indeed. Maybe that's where the expression comes from. So there they have, so you'd have a big cabinet perhaps on the wall. Arguably, that's not a toolbox because it's a cabinet, and each spanner would have a little shaped place.
That's the ultimate.
Go.
Yes.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
And a screwdriver. So
do you know what we mean by this? In a shed.
I do, because my uncles, who are both mechanics and they're bachelors, they both live in their family home.
Are they dull men?
They are yes. They are.
Faye's from a family of dull men.
They are superb
Well, I hope they
at
listen.
what they do. But I remember going to visit them when I was a little girl and seeing exactly what you're talking about, the shape of the tool.
So you can look at the
goes
wall.
It's like
back
a
into
chalk
place.
outline, isn't it? Where it's like a dead body on the ground, but
next
there's
to a darts board.
Yeah.
So,
It means you can look at the wall or look in the cabinet or look in the box, and you
It's
immediately
missing.
know if there's a tool missing because there's
The
a space.
hacksaw,
You think, what have I done with
hammer.
that? In fact, I have a cousin who's very, very keen on motorcycles, and he's a listener actually, so hopefully he might hear this. His name is Mike, and Mike, if you're listening,
Mike and the
I
Mechanics.
just want to shout out for you. And he often takes cars, motorcycles apart, puts them back together. I don't know how he does it. It's extraordinary. Completely baffles me.
Yeah.
But I know in his garage is superbly well organised with that sort of thing. So I guess a garage is like the ultimate toolbox. It's a massive toolbox made of bricks. But so I want to know. You talked earlier when I said about the toolbox you see in mechanics, and you talked about the ones that splay out.
Yeah.
They're called cantilever toolboxes.
Right.
Where you pull out the two sides.
Yeah.
And they were very popular for a while, and you see a lot of them about. But I had one for many years, but eventually it just sort of seized up. I probably should have oiled it.
Yeah,
but,
they take. Yeah, this is the awkward thing. When your toolbox needs maintenance.
Yeah, exactly. But you
And
can't
all your
get
tools
into
are
it.
inside it.
I have the creme de la creme of a toolbox, may I say?
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it's made by Stanley Tools, and I'll tell you why it's the creme de la creme of toolboxes, because there's a lot of thought has gone into it. So, in the lid, so you open up the lid. It's not a cantilever one; it's just like a standard one that you open up. But the handle folds down into the lid, so it remains a flat surface.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it
ergonomic.
So it's ergonomic, but the reason is that you can actually stand on it to give you an extra 9 to 10 inches.
Oh, a bit of height for your
to give you a
work.
bit of height when you're putting a picture up.
That's good.
So it goes down.
I like that.
The top is rubber, so it's a metal toolbox, but it's encoded in rubber, so it's non-slip. With the sort of X's that you put on rubber to sort of give you a bit of grip.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's full of those. It's obviously strong enough to hold the weight of the average man. And that would also include the average woman, because men are traditionally heavier than.
Could it hold
than
both at
women.
once?
Well, it probably could, if you want to pig.
If you're in a clinch, if you're in a nice romantic moment, standing on top of your toolbox.
Well, sometimes when I'm putting a picture up, and when me and my wife need extra height, then she will get on my shoulders or on my back. I will piggyback her.
Has she got any clothes on?
Does that matter? Does it really matter?
You have to understand about Deech lives in a beautiful house, which I know you and your wife did up yourself, and the ceilings are pretty high in that house.
We do have height.
So that business of actually your wife on your shoulders to hang a picture,
it has happened.
It could be possible.
It has happened. So I'm on the toolbox, and she is, and I am. I know, and my wife is adorned. while she hammers into the wall.
You're adorned by your wife.
Which ironically, a picture fell off yesterday. Or through the night, in the middle of the night, we had a crash, and me and my wife came running out of bed, and it was a picture. Yeah, when it feels like that, but it was just dodgy workmanship on my wife's part.
Before I finish on toolboxes, let me just tell you of an aberration that I've noticed, which may have been around a long time, but I've sort of become aware of it, and that is the tool belt. As an alternative to the toolbox.
Maybe that's what I need to invest in.
A tool belt.
You
can wear it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a fashion accessory.
You're getting really excited.
But do you know what I mean by the tool belt? You got this thing, and you got your various screwdrivers and things you need. And quite often when a workman turns up, a plumber or a carpenter or somebody who comes to do a bit of work,
I've seen those films.
They absolutely, that's the one. And
I've come to fix your fridge.
Let me get my tool belt out.
It just reminded me, I've got to phone up for the man to fix my dishwasher actually. But thanks for reminding me.
And those tool belts, they can also be aprons. They can be, but they also, I think you see a lot of workmen, manual labourers with the clothing they wear has very extra large pockets.
I have a pair of those.
Do you?
I have a pair of trousers and also shorts, which have pockets which bellow over the sides, and they've got loops that I can put my tools in and stuff like that.
Can you get a laptop in one of them? It's that big.
Get a tablet in.
But I mean, if you're up a ladder or something,
it's invaluable.
The tool belt or those clothes make a lot of sense because you can't take a toolbox up a ladder.
No,
well, So I may not particularly like it, but I do see the absolute sense in it. But I haven't bought a tool belt yet. It may only
Christmas is only a few months away,
Dave. It may only be a matter of time. Anybody's listening for feedback section.
This is why we need to get Wix or B&Q or Homebase to sponsor us.
Yes.
Faye, you are going to talk to us about owner's manuals, which covers I would say, a wide range of things.
Yeah, it could be anything, couldn't it? But I specifically want to talk about my vehicle owner's manual.
as in, can I say Haynes manual? That sort of thing?
And I've got a bit of info about Haynes.
The one that comes with the car.
With my car, yeah. So, so you may know that I recently bought a electric car.
Vehicle.
So
EV,
and the manual came with it. It's a second-hand car. It's a few years old, and I haven't even looked at the manual. It's in the glove compartment,
and it drove me. I must say, it drove me to the studio today.
Yeah. Quiet as a mouse, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm really pleased with it. But the other day, I had a warning light come up on the dash saying tyre pressure low. Sort it out.
Please read the manual.
Something like that, yeah. I was like, do you know what? I haven't got a clue how much air I should be pumping into my tyres. I knew from my previous car. Mm-hmm. So I reached for the manual and went to the index tyres. And there's always a few options, page 232 to 250.
Because it depends what tyre you've got and whether you've got a full load and all that sort of thing.
I just want to know the bloody tyre
You know it's normally written on the doorpost of the car.
I've eventually found that out.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, I went right round the houses. It's just like, just give me the information. And it's saying, refer back to page 1 with the warning system.
Sounds like the Crystal Maze, doesn't it?
Oh my God, I was seriously sitting in my car for 40 minutes going, just tell me what
that's infuriating.
tyre pressure.
So did your owner's manual cover various models of your car?
No, it's just this.
It's just that one model?
Just this model,
so
yeah.
it should be straightforward for them to give you this information.
Yeah, so how did I not know that, Dave, that it is on the driver's side?
Yeah, I've told you again and again.
Sorry, Dad. I didn't know that. I really didn't. I don't think I've ever owned a car that it has been there before, but maybe I just didn't know.
All modern cars have it. I mean, I think it's become a standard thing. I mean, your previous car was an older BMW, wasn't it?
Yes,
So
yeah.
But perhaps that didn't have it.
And then in the end, I was
the
just...
colour of the car as well, I believe, is on the...
I thought you
No,
it's on the door. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it's white.
No, the actual colour code.
actually it's not.
It's not like red or black.
What colour is your car?
colour's my
Hang on, let
car?
me just get out and have a look.
And just to say, if you are visually
Oh,
impaired
no,
or blind,
totally.
you shouldn't be driving a car anymore.
Yeah.
Well, because the colour's written in Braille, just to help you. So that's a very tasteless joke. I do apologise.
Oh dear.
But,
So I find manuals really frustrating. That took me 40 minutes just to find out that information.
That's ridiculous.
One element of my car.
Yeah.
How long do you need to read the whole bloody manual?
Yeah.
And whoever sits down and goes through everything
And also
remembers that
those
information.
manuals that come with the car,
Yeah.
as opposed to the ones you can buy aftermarket, they always refer to 17 different models.
Yeah,
so you've
which
got
was the point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you've
yeah.
got to know, which model of
Yeah.
it, and it's often not that easy to know which model you've got.
If you've bought your car second hand, it probably isn't. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you just
So-
think, oh, I've bought an Escort or Sierra.
I mean, it usually says it on the V5, doesn't
Yeah.
it? But and
but you've then still got to go through each different option
that
it says.
So it's not easy.
And yeah.
Have you ever tried Googling it though? You know, what tyre pressure for my Golf, my
Yeah,
electric Golf? or
I think
whatever?
I did that as well. What
And
I
it said
find,
refer to manual.
yeah, but this is what I find annoying. Every section I went through, it said refer back to page 1 with the, and it's like it's just assuming that you've read the manual from page 1. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I find them really frustrating. Anything new that I buy, electrical, new hairdryer, toaster, kettle, whatever, comes with a massive manual,
Yeah.
and that just goes straight in the
Yeah.
drawer, and I never bloody
Yeah,
read it.
yeah,
Well,
a manual for a toaster.
Yeah,
Would
or
my life be
ridiculous.
better if I read
indeed a
manuals?
hairdryer.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
the
this
first,
is
and
the
the
switch
first.
you turn it on, point at your hair when it's wet.
Do you unbelievably, aeroplanes each have a manual in there.
Well, yeah,
I
I can
should-
believe
yeah.
that. Yeah, I can believe
Because-
that.
But which pilots will refer to in times of emergency if something, because sometimes lights will come on and they have to sort of refer to how
Yeah.
they deal with it.
Yeah.
So they've got to have like the co-pilot go into the glove box, get the manual out, and start going.
They have a glove box.
Congratulations on buying your Boeing 737. We hope you have many happy hours flying. And they've got to start flicking through all of this. Come on, we're losing altitude. Which version is this? Is the 737-800 or 737-900? I don't know. Have a look out the window.
The interestingly, there was a thing. I mean, I know you're sort of half joking there, but there was a thing on Instagram or somewhere like that the other day where they were showing a pile of the Boeing 747 manuals that came with the first Boeing 747s.
Oh, right.
And it was basically a porter's trolley full of manuals.
Oh, my
huge number of
God.
manuals, and they all had to be carried in the plane. There was a special bookshelf in the cockpit because the original jumbos, I think they had 3 crew
my
in the
God.
Yes.
a pilot, co-pilot,
Yes.
and an engineer.
Yeah, yeah.
And the engineer would have access to these manuals.
Right.
And they were making the point that if you now buy a modern Boeing or an Airbus or whatever, that's all on a computer.
Yeah.
So you basically
'Cause they never go wrong.
You basically no, exactly. So you got your iPad. You say, "Damn, the battery's run out," you know. But basically, I imagine it's an inbuilt computer. But basically, you can look up all of that stuff online now, and so the weight saving alone, apparently, they said, the weight of these books. in the
No
original
way.
aircraft
It's another
was
suitcase
massive.
for somebody.
It
isn't
was
it,
another
to take-
person.
Yeah, it's another person.
You know, and now as I say, it's all digital. So you can look it up. I'm sure they have backups. If your iPad did run out of battery, I'm sure you could look it up on
Well,
something
do you know
else.
what happens if a plane does run out of the electronic battery? Do you know what the plane does?
No, tell me.
So from the bottom of a plane, these little things drop out which have
Wheels.
effectively propellers in, which will then provide power.
Oh, is that right? Because planes have, I mean, famously, planes obviously get electricity from the main engines when they're flying, but they have an auxiliary engine at the tail. So most jets have and when you're sitting on the tarmac, and you're waiting, they haven't started the main engines. All the power for the lights and the ventilators and everything is coming from the auxiliary engine at the back of the aircraft. Oh. And you know how just before you take off, there's often a flicker.
Yes.
As you go, and that's transferring from the auxiliary engine to the main engine.
Nice
there
fact.
Is a dull man's fact for you.
Nice fact. Yeah, so talking about Haynes manuals, when was the first one published?
Oh, I'm going to say 1927.
And I'm going to say 1935.
I've got 1965 here.
Oh.
Gosh, that's late, isn't it?
Yeah. So,
and what was the car, does it say?
J.H. Haynes & Co. Limited was founded on the 18th of May 1960, and its first manual was entitled Haynes Owner's Workshop Manual for the Austin Healey Sprite.
So, Deech, you are going to tell us all about traffic cones today.
Yeah, it's...
Don't sound too enthusiastic.
Yeah, well, it's the traffic cones themselves.
You're looking really bored now, Deech.
No, I'm not bored. I get aggravated. So, because of my evening job as a stand-up comedian, and anyone who drives late at night, and certainly all comedians, the bane of their life is motorway diversions, because all the work on motorways happens generally after about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So motorways get closed. I was driving back down from Crewe on Tuesday, and a section of the M5 was closed.
It's infuriating, isn't it, when that happens?
Yeah.
You have to do a huge diversion.
Yeah, around Kidderminster of all places. And then it's, do I believe my sat-nav or do I believe the yellow diversion signs, where the person who puts them out seems to get bored after about 3 signs and just leaves it. And then you've got to drive, but my sat-nav is trying to get me back to the motorway. So I've got to drive far enough away to sort of... It's like I break its spirit, and it's like, okay, I'll...
And the sat-nav might take you back to the motorway at a junction that's still shut.
At the same place.
Or the same place, or the next one.
Which is even more...
And if it's shut for several junctions.
Yeah. And it's embarrassing for me and the sat-nav.
I have done exactly that by trusting the sat-nav. Got back to the motorway, and it's closed because I'm only one junction down, and I've got to get to the next one. And it's infuriating.
It is, and you get the signs that you're driving down, and the overhead signs come on, and then you start seeing the cones sort of drifting you over into the one lane, and they're sort of forcing you into the side and forcing you off at the next.
So there's only room for a motorbike.
Yeah,
you're on 2 wheels. Yeah.
So it's like a love-hate relationship with traffic cones, and any cones, and they can be used for different things, used in sport, you dribble round them, anyone who's done sport. Traffic cones were invented by Charles Scanlon, an American who, while working as a painter for the street painting department of the city of Los Angeles, was unimpressed with the traditional wooden tripods and barriers used to mark roads which were damaged and undergoing repainting. Scanlon regarded these wooden structures as easily broken, hard to see, and a hazard to passing traffic. Scanlon's rubber cone was designed to return to an upright position when struck by a glancing blow. The patent for the invention was granted in 1943. So there we go. And when do you think these traffic cones were first introduced into the United Kingdom, and where were they first used?
I reckon on the M1 in the 50s.
I was going to say 53, London.
So it was 58 on the M6.
Wow.
These traffic cones were used as a substitute for red lantern paraffin burners, which was what they were using at the time.
Those.
Good for you,
With
Dave.
a little hook on top.
Wow.
Yes.
I am old enough to remember
And they were being used during the construction of the Preston bypass. But here's a little fun fact for you. In the United States, on the 1st of May 1959, the Pacific Gas and Electric Company in Oakland, California, adopted the policy of placing orange safety traffic cones at the front and rear of their service trucks while they were parked in the street to increase visibility and safety for the workers. This policy was implemented as a result of a suggestion by their employee. His name was Russell Storch, a cable splicer. He was awarded $45 for his suggestion, and the policy is still in use today.
So we were talking about parking in a previous episode. How do you feel about residents who have their own cones, traffic cones.
Oh, and they just block a public
and
space.
They just put it outside their house.
It's disgraceful.
And
I don't think they should be allowed to do that.
Well, they're not allowed to do it, are they?
No, I don't think they are. But I mean, people do it, as you say.
Yeah.
But I think the fact is, if you live on a public road where parking is unrestricted, I'm afraid,
Only acceptable if there's a reason, like if you've got a removals lorry coming or something like that.
Yeah. So we have reached the end of another episode of the Dollman's podcast. And I can't believe we've reached the end already. Whereas you, our listeners, are probably thinking, thank God we've reached the end. That was episode 32. Before we finish...
Well done for hanging in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite an achievement. It's time for Fact of the Week.
Yes.
And I'm now struggling to remember what the subjects were. But I think, Faye, you came up with a very surprising statistic about the Haynes Manual, about its date. So I think maybe I'll have to vote for that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, I'm feeling guilty in the last episode. I didn't vote for you. So.
Yeah, well, I'm just getting used to it.
Yeah,
now.
I wasn't overly impressed with that fact myself. But the fact I think I will vote for actually is one of yours, Dave, and an off-the-cuff one. And the reason I'm voting for it is because it's actually useful.
Oh, a useful fact.
And that is that your tyre pressure is on the inside of your door on a car.
Yeah,
and so because of that, I am voting for you. You are helping the community.
Wow. That's 2 episodes in a row where I've got a vote.
It's informative, isn't it? I really liked Dave's fact about aeroplanes and how the electricity is generated.
Auxiliary engine and the flickering of the lights.
I didn't know that.
Well, I thought the better one was
that was a ghost. When the lights go weird, or somebody was doing a seance.
Fellow podcasters and dear listeners, that I now have 2 votes this episode for 2 different things.
Yeah,
which is tricky. I don't know how that works under the rules, But given that I've got more votes than either of you, can I have fact of the episode?
Yeah, go on.
Well, yeah, you can have fact.
So is it going to be the tyre pressures on the doorpost or the auxiliary engine in an aeroplane? We need a casting vote to choose it, really.
So it's a void week. It's a void week.
I'm not having that. This is my victory. It doesn't happen very often. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Dollman's podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please listen and share and tell all your friends, because that's how we grow the podcast. My name's Dave Harries. With me today has been...
Demitris Deech, top 800 comedian.
And...
Faye Hatcher, jack of all trades.
Thank you very much, guys. And we will see you all for the next episode. Bye.
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 Can cook salmon in a dishwasher, by the way.
Can you?
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Well,
anyway, that's another story for another time.
This isn't Jamie Oliver's 30-minute air fryer meals. Jamie Oliver's 30-minute dishwasher meals.
Well, you wrap it up, but
right, okay.
That's another story for another time.